This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth with some good news today, my friends. As I speak, there is currently a massive exodus happening on Twitter as hundreds of thousands of users are now flocking off of that website and onto a new one called Parler, which is not going to be censoring conservative voices because a large part of this stems from recently a couple of very big conservative voices have been censored on this platform, not to mention they are now putting little notifications on Donald Trump's tweets. So all of these things coupled together in the last couple of weeks have led to people saying enough is enough, and they're starting to flock over to Parler, and I have joined them. Here I am. My channel is called Press for Truth. You can find me at DanDixPFT, and I set this up because I've been going through similar things. I recently put this out, Dan Dix locked out of Twitter, website down. It's a full-on attack and the gloves are off. That's, of course, following my viral tweet of my coverage of the anti-lockdown protests. Twitter locked me out of my account. And, of course, who could forget the time that I was suspended by Twitter for saying that a man is not a woman and for referring to Jessica Yaniv as a him. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I dared to call this guy right here a him because that's what he is, and for that I was suspended on Twitter. So of course I have my Parler account set up as a hedge against the coming censorship as well. So in this video we're going to look at this, the Great Awakening, tidal wave of social media users exit Twitter for free speech alternative. And we'll also take a look at this, the fact that conservative voices in particular are flocking to the social media app Parler as Twitter cracks down on free speech. A lot of this was stemming from the cancellation of this man here, who just happens to be one of Donald Trump's famous meme maker. The deletion of his account is really what triggered this exodus onto this platform, with hundreds of thousands of new users going to this this new platform in just the last few days. So we're going to talk about all of that and much more, guys. But just before we do, I'd ask that you check me out here on patreon.com/pressfortruth. Here's where you can sign up for a monthly membership. You can do $5 a month, $10, $15 a month, anywhere up to $500 a month. And the goal is to get this up to from 1 to 5,000, so we can get cameramen, editors, writers, videographers, a webmaster, social media master, researchers, continue with the gear update and software updates, and maybe even now adding security to that as things are getting crazier and crazier for me. So if that's something you'd like to support, please check the links in the description or on the screen right now to find out how you can add me here on Patreon. All right, so let me just first say that I love the free market. You know, when companies like Twitter begin to fail, there's always alternative platforms that have been popping up to deal with the censorship. And it looks like this one in particular is really starting to take off. So let's take a look at this one just out from PJ Media, The Great Awakening, tidal waves of social media users exit Twitter for free speech alternative. The empire of Rome was destroyed from within, and the empire of Twitter is falling in the same way. The social media giant has caused a tidal wave of an exodus to its more conservative competitor, Parler, after it deleted 2 popular conservative accounts and began adding disclaimers to the tweets of President Donald Trump. This week alone, according to analytics researched by Mediate, around 500,000 people have migrated to Parler. That's fantastic. The increase brings the total number of accounts on the platform, which was co-founded in 2018 by John Matz and Jared Thomas, to 1.5 million users. Parler is a non-biased, free speech-driven entity. Our goal is to offer the world a platform that protects users' rights, supports publishers, and builds online communities. Imagine that. Well, they're going for it, folks, and conservatives in particular are flocking to this one, not because it's a right-leaning platform by any means, but it's largely because of the fact that, you know, Twitter is banning conservative voices in particular. So those voices just so happen to be migrating on over to the new platform here. which is why it's being heavily flooded with conservatives right now. Amid efforts on the part of Twitter to ban, suspend, and censor prominent conservative voices from its platform in recent weeks, users have decided to give Parler a try, a social media platform functionally similar to Twitter without the censorship. Parler was launched in August of 2018 and has since taken off, especially in recent days, with Twitter issuing a permanent suspension of meme master Carpe Donkrum, temporary suspension of Raheem Kassem, and permanent suspension of Katie Hopkins. The common denominator of all these former Twitterites is that they hold conservative views. And this has sparked the interest of at least 250,000 Twitter users to create a new Parler account just this week. So as I said, Twitter is removing conservative voices in particular. This is why upwards of 250,000 of them just in the past week have flooded to this particular website. And as I said, it's a beautiful thing. I really hope it has the chance to take off. In fact, I'm surprised it hasn't already. This is a platform whose time is coming, because Twitter has been shooting itself in the foot for a while now. In fact, it was way back in 2018 when Project Veritas put out this amazing expose, a hidden camera expose, Twitter engineers to ban a way of thinking through shadow banning, where it was proved that they engage in literal shadow banning. This is something I've been talking about on my channel for a long time now. And it was eventually exposed through this hidden camera expose by Project Veritas. So finally, people are starting to catch up with some of the things that are going on here on this platform, and they're starting to take action by moving over to others. You know, it's not just Twitter either. As you know, I put out on my pinned tweet here the fact that I was memory hold from Facebook. I had over 350,000 followers on Facebook that were just erased at the blink of an eye. And I said, there's a dangerous precedent being set here, where the big tech companies have appointed themselves as the gatekeepers of political thought and opinion. Retweet this if you care about free speech. Well, now I'd say if you care about free speech, head on over to Parler. Give it a try. Check it out. Check me out at @DanDixPFT is my Parler account, and I hope you guys will check it out. So I just wanted to bring this to your attention today, guys. You know, it's always good news to me when like-minded people en masse leave another platform. You see, in the free market, as a voluntarius, we don't want them banned or silenced or shut down or anything like that. We just want the opportunity to make them obsolete by doing a better job than them. So that's what we are going to continue to attempt to do. Now, I want to remind you, I'm on a bunch of these platforms as a hedge against the censorship that we've been seeing. Float.app is a good one, flote.app/DanDixPFT. And there you're going to find links to all sorts of other things that I'm on. Like here, Subscribestar. You got a whole list here going across the board. What do we have? Subscribestar, Steemit, Gab, Facebook, DLive, DTube, Minds, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. They're all here. So, and they're also located in the description below. All these alternative platforms that I've been joining, kind of diversifying my video sharing platform portfolio, so to speak, as a hedge against the kind of censorship that we are currently now seeing on Twitter. I believe I currently have around 44,000 followers on Twitter between my two accounts, my personal DanDixPFT and my Press for Truth account. And I would love to have them migrate over to Parler and my Parler account right here. Let's do that. Let's begin the migration, and then we can just delete the other channels. So on that note, guys, I want to leave you today with something that I was inspired by a while back, and that was my good friend James Corbett, who was really a pioneer when it came to this stuff, saw Twitter for the absolute cesspool of hatred that it is, and he took the initiative to leave that platform. And when he did so, I was quite inspired by it. Literally the day he quit Twitter and made the announcement that he did, that evening, I wrote a little song on my guitar that I did for James Corbett because I was so inspired by what he did. That song is right here. It's called James Corbett is Not on Twitter by Dan Dix, and I'm going to play that for you just now in case you've never heard it. But please don't forget to check out the links in the description below to find out how you can support my efforts here on Patreon as I'm continuing to be shadow banned and demonetized and having my GoFundMe campaigns deleted and things of that nature. I'm under serious attack as well, and we need your financial support moving forward. So please don't forget to check the links in the description to find out how you can do that. Click the thumbs up button. Share this video, guys. Get this one out there. Help us with the algorithms to share this information. And that's all. Stay tuned for more video reports coming soon. This is Dan Dix reporting for Press for Truth. Without further ado, here's my little ditty. James Corbett is not on Twitter.
James Corbett is not on Twitter. You won't find him on Facebook either. I'd like to see you try and censor that which isn't even there. James Corbett is not on Twitter. You won't find him on Facebook either. Jack Dorsey and Zuckerberg, your time has come. The press has won. James Corbett is not on Twitter. You won't find him on Facebook either. I'd like to see you try and censor that which isn't even there. The Corbett Report is not on Twitter. You won't find him on Facebook either. Jack Dorsey and Zuckerberg, your time has come. The press has won.
Why am I on Twitter? Why am I on Twitter? It's graffiti on the bathroom wall that millions of people can read. So why on earth am I on Twitter? No more. No more. Not for me, but I'm sure you will survive without me. Hey, why not? Maybe you can even join me by exiting Twitter. Delete Twitter. So, that's going to do it for this week. I am your host, James Corbett, CorbettReport.com. Looking forward to talking to you again very shortly.
I'd like to see you try and censor that which